All right, guys, Mr. Antonucci here, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to find the derivative of an inverse. To find the derivative of an inverse function, we have to let f and g be inverse functions and then use the chain rule from there. So if f and g are inverse functions, then it follows that g of f of x equals x. Then if we differentiate both sides with respect to x, the right side is just going to be 1. The left side, we would use the chain rule. The derivative of the outside, g prime, of the inside, times, using the chain rule, the derivative of the inside. Then we just solve for f prime. If we get 1 over g prime of f of x. And this gives us a formula for finding the derivative of an inverse. You'll want to remember this formula for the derivative of the inverse. Let's go through an example to show you how this works out. So g is the inverse function for f. F of x equals x to the fifth plus x. We want to find g prime of 2. So g prime of x equals 1 over f prime of g of 2 according to our theorem. Now, the issue is that g of 2, we don't know what that equals. However, that is the y value on the g function. Now, the relationship between inverses is that the point a comma b, if that's on g, if g has the point a comma b, then f, being the inverse, contains the point b comma a. So if 2 is the x value for g, then it's automatically the y value for f. In other words, I know that f of x equals x to the fifth plus x equals 2. Now, just by looking at this, you can easily see that in this case, x would have to equal 1. So even though we don't know what the g function is, it is the inverse of f. We know that because g of 2, the 2 is the x value on g, f is the inverse, therefore 2 is the y value for f. If we set f equal to 2 and solve for x, we get x equals 1. What that means also is that's the x value for f, but it's also the y value for g. So we know that this is equal to 1. And that's helpful because we can substitute that in here and get 1 over f prime of what g of 2 is, which is 1. Now it's simple to take f prime of x, 5x to the fourth plus 1. So f prime of 1 is just 6, and this simplifies to 1/6. Now, I want to show you in Desmos how to find the values if you're allowed to use Desmos. So for this problem, here's f of x. We know that its y value had to equal 2. Well, if you look at the graph, you can quickly solve for where the y value is 2 from the graph. And you can put it in here, and we know that the point 1 comma 2 is on the graph of f. Therefore, the point 2 comma 1 is on the graph of g. So this is a quick way to solve for values if it's not readily apparent from the function or if you don't have enough information in the problem. Here's another way you may see a problem come up that involves inverse functions. If we say f and g are inverse functions that are everywhere differentiable, if g of 1 equals 3, f prime of 3 equals 5, what is the value of g prime of 1? So a couple things here to note is that if g of 1 equals 3 and f and g are inverses, then we automatically know that f of 3 equals 1. If we want g prime of 1, that's going to be 1 over f prime of g of 1. G of 1 is 3, so this becomes f prime of 3. And we know f prime of 3 equals 5. So the answer is 1/5. Now, I want to point out an important characteristic here. Notice that the derivative at 3 is 5 for f, and g, its derivative, is 1/5 at x equals 1. So the relationship is that a function and its inverse have reciprocal slopes at their inverse points. So f prime of 3 is 5, g prime of 1 is 1/5. Here's another problem that may come up. The function is 1-to-1, which means it has an inverse, and has an inverse function g. What is the equation of the tangent line to the graph of g at the point 8, 2? So the way this is written, 8, 2 is g of 8 equals 2, because it's referencing the graph of g for this point. So just be careful. That tells us that f of 2 should equal 8. And if you plug 2 into that function, 2 cubed is 8, plus 2 times 2 is 4, minus 4 would give you 8 also. G prime of 8 is equal to 1 over f prime of g of 8. G of 8 is 2, so this is 1 over f prime of 2. So f prime, 3x squared plus 2, f prime of 2 is equal to 14. So this is equal to 1/14. We're not done. Lots of times students will get an answer and think they're done. This is just the slope of the tangent line. Now we need to write the actual equation. It's y equals 2 plus 1/14 times x minus 8. Make sure you're using the correct point. We're talking about the tangent line to the graph of g. The point is 8, 2. The slope is 1/14. All right, guys, that's it for derivative of an inverse. I hope that was helpful to you. Make sure you give this video a like and leave me a comment below. Let me know if this was helpful to you.